My lover gave me an ultimatum, he or my cat. I chose my kitty and he left. 2 months later, he's back, appealing for another chance, but I've moved on with someone person. I, a 29-year-old woman, disagree with my 32-year-old boyfriend Sean about my cat Milo's sleeping arrangements. Milo has been my devoted friend for 7 years when I rescued him from a local shelter. He was a little kitten, only 8 weeks old, with beautiful green eyes and a purr that could melt anyone's heart. I recall the day I acquired Milo like if it were yesterday. I had just moved into my first solo apartment after college and was feeling overwhelmed and lonely. My best friend took me to the shelter, claiming that adopting a pet would make me feel more at home. The moment I saw Milo curled up in the corner of his cage, I knew he was meant for me. Milo has been by my side throughout it all. He was there when I obtained my first professional job at a marketing firm, and he celebrated with me by attacking the balloons my parents had given. He consoled me when I was laid off 2 years later during the economic crash. I spent weeks feeling confused and miserable, but Milo's consistent presence and love headbutts kept me going. Milo has always slept in my bedroom. He has a comfortable kitty bed next to my nightstand, but he prefers the cat tree by the window during cold evenings or when I'm feeling. When he's not feeling well, he'll curl up next to me in bed, his regular purring lulling me to sleep. I met Sean about 10 months ago at a friend's BBQ. We hit it off immediately. We bonded over our shared love of independent cinema and obscure 1980s bands. He is intelligent, humorous, and generally considerate. Our relationship has been fantastic, with the exception of one huge issue: he can't stand having Milo in the bedroom when he stays over. Sean claims Milo disturbs his sleep. He states that the cat's nighttime activities, such as jumping on and off the bed, occasional meowing, and overall movement, keep him awake. I was surprised at first because Milo is normally fairly quiet at night. Sure, he has late-night zoomies on occasion, but not on a consistent basis. When Sean stayed over, I tried to compromise and kept Milo out of. On a couple of times, I was in my bedroom. It did not go very well. Milo sat outside the door all night, meowing plaintively. His tears were agonizing, and they disrupted our sleep, much more than his usual nightly routine. Milo's sadness over being excluded made me feel extremely horrible. This cat has been my rock through some of the most difficult times in my life. When my grandmother died last year, Milo seemed to comprehend my grief. He did not leave my side for weeks, bringing me wordless comfort as I mourned my loss. The idea of repeatedly barring him from my room, which he has always had access to, seems wrong on so many levels. Sean and I had been dealing with this issue, although uncomfortably, for some months. But last Saturday, everything came to a head. Sean slept over on Friday night, and I let Milo sleep in the room as usual. Around 3 a.m., Milo got into the bed and accidentally trod on Sean's face as he approached my side. Sean awakened feeling astonished and upset. He said he couldn't take it any longer and that I had to choose between having him stay over and Milo in the room. I was astonished by the ultimatum. I told Sean that Milo arrived first and that this is also his home. I said that I was unwilling to disrupt Milo's routine and cause him distress just to satisfy Sean's desires. This led to a heated dispute. Sean accused me of prioritizing my cat over our relationship. The dispute raised some fundamental difficulties that we hadn't. Previous issues were properly addressed. Sean admitted that he never had pets growing up. His parents, both busy professionals, considered pets as an unnecessary bother. He acknowledged that he has always struggled to understand the close bonds that some people have with their dogs. I told Milo more about my upbringing and how he's always been a source of comfort and companionship through numerous life challenges. I told Sean how Milo helped me get through a painful breakup with my undergraduate lover, often comforting me with a purr and an ouzel when I was crying. I described how Milo would sit on my lap as I was job hunting after being laid off, making the never-ending cycle of applications and rejections seem less daunting. Sean listened but still seemed upset. He indicated that, while he appreciates my commitment to Milo, he needs enough sleep to perform well at his high-stress job in finance. He said that if we can't agree on something as simple as our sleeping arrangements, we may not be as compatible as we thought. His words hit me hard. Until now, our relationship had been going quite well. We share similar ideas, enjoy the same activities, and communicate effectively. This is our first serious disagreement, and it makes me question if we will be compatible in the long run. Part of me wonders whether I should just give up and try harder to keep Milo out of the bedroom. However, it appears that doing so would undermine Milo's confidence and disrupt a long-standing habit. Plus, knowing he's around allows me to sleep easier. Over time, I've grown accustomed to this degree of comfort. I'm also concerned about the precedent this will set. If Sean and I do eventually move in together, what other aspects of Milo's life would he desire to change? Would he expect Milo to be confined to certain areas of the house? The premise makes me uncomfortable. I understand Sean's need for uninterrupted sleep. His job is demanding, often requiring early mornings and late evenings. I want to be a helpful spouse, but I can't seem to find a solution that suits everyone. I've considered concessions like buying a white noise generator to drown out any noises Milo could make or rearranging the bedroom to give Milo more space away from the bed. But I'm not sure whether these solutions will please Sean. This event has caused me to question a number of things. Am I being unreasonable by refusing to change Milo's sleeping arrangements? Am I putting my cat's needs before my relationship? Or are I correct in being firm on this? I adore Sean and hope our relationship will succeed. But Milo is like family to me. I highly respect our friendship. The idea of having to pick between them is upsetting. I'm looking for recommendations on how to solve this issue. Has anyone else encountered a similar problem? How do you balance your pet's needs with those of your partner? Is it wrong for me to prioritize my cat's habits over my boyfriend's comfort? Update 1. It's been roughly a month since my initial post. I also wanted to provide an update on the situation to Sean and Milo. Sean and I took a few days off following our disagreement to unwind and think about the situation. We next met in a neutral location, a quiet cafe that we both appreciate, to have a serious chat about our relationship and the ongoing cat problem. I started by telling Sean more tales about my time with Milo, hoping to help him understand the strength of our bond. I told him around 2 years ago, at a really difficult period at work. I usually arrive home after midnight. Milo was always waiting for me at the door, eager to offer comfort and company, no matter how late I arrived. His presence helped me decompress and maintain my sanity throughout those terrible weeks. I also explained how Milo helped me deal with my anxiety. I've experienced evenings where I couldn't sleep because I was worried about my career or family. Milo appeared to be aware of my anguish during those nights. He'll curl up beside me. His continual purr acts as a natural relaxation method. It's more effective than any meditation app I've tried. Sean listened attentively to these stories, admitting that he had never really understood the depth of the human-animal bond before, having grown up in a pet-free household. He shared a bit about his own background, how his parents' focus on career advancement meant that pets were seen as an unnecessary distraction. In his family, success was measured by professional achievements, not personal relationships. However, he reiterated his concerns about sleep quality, explaining how a lack of sleep affects his performance at work and his overall mood. We spent some time brainstorming potential compromises. First, we agreed to try using a white noise machine in the bedroom to mask any small sounds Milo might make at night. We also decided to rearrange the room a little bit, moving Milo's cat tree further away from the bed to reduce the chances of him jumping on us during the night. Sean has been making an effort to spend more time with Milo, and he's even bought Milo a new interactive toy last week. On the positive side, the white noise machine has definitely helped to muffle Milo's movements, and Sean says he's sleeping better overall. There have been several nights where Sean slept through Milo's nighttime activities without issue. Sean, who has been attempting to be patient, made a remark the other day about looking forward to when we eventually move in together and can set some new rules, which made me uneasy because I have no intention of significantly. While I understand Sean's reasoning, the thought of spending significantly less time in my own home doesn't sit well with me. Milo is a package deal with me, but I'm not sure he fully accepts that. Another issue that has come up is the frequency of our sleepovers. On a more positive note, I'm optimistic, but I'm still unsure about the future. Is it naive to think this can work long-term if Sean isn't a cat person? Should I be concerned about his comment about future rules? How do I balance my commitment to Milo with my desire to make this relationship work? Any advice on navigating this situation would be greatly appreciated. Has anyone else managed to bridge the gap between a pet lover and someone who's never had pets? Are there other compromises we haven't made yet? On the second night, I woke up around 3 a.m. and was surprised to find Milo curled up on Sean's chest, purring contentedly. Even more surprising was that Sean, who was usually a light sleeper, was sound asleep and didn't seem bothered at all. In the morning, I cautiously brought it up, half expecting Sean to be upset. To my surprise, he sheepishly admitted that he'd woken up briefly when Milo jumped on the bed, but decided to let him stay because he looked so peaceful, he said. We had a few really good nights where everyone slept peacefully, and I began to believe we had found a solution. However, just when I thought things were looking up, we hit another stumbling block. Sean had an important work presentation on Monday morning, so he stayed over Sunday night, and unfortunately it was one of those nights. Sean, who had barely slept and felt unprepared for his presentation, made some harsh remarks about Milo being a nightmare and how he couldn't imagine dealing with this on a long-term basis. I didn't get up to try to break that habit, but it took him a while to calm down. At 5:30 a.m., Milo decided it was the perfect time for zoomies around the room. He apologized for his harsh words but said he's still unsure about the whole situation. He suggested that we spend more nights at his place to balance things out. While I understand his point of view, the thought of spending significantly less time at my own home doesn't sit well with me. This incident has brought back all of my previous concerns about our compatibility. I'm starting to wonder if the peaceful nights we had were just a temporary reprieve rather than. I'm not sure where we go from here. I'm not sure if I should be more willing to spend nights at Sean's place. But then I think about Milo waiting for me at home, probably feeling confused and abandoned, and my heart aches. I'm also concerned about the long-term implications if Sean and I are struggling so much to coexist with Milo now. What would happen if we decided to move in together? Would Sean expect Milo to suddenly change all of his habits? After much deliberation and soul-searching, Sean and I have decided to end our relationship. We tried to find a middle ground after the incident with Sean's work presentation. Has anyone else been in a similar situation? How did you resolve it? I'm open to any advice or perspectives you can offer. Update 3, it's been 2 weeks, and I'm afraid this update isn't a happy one. I explained that Milo isn't just a pet to me, but a member of my family, and that if we share a home, he should be trained to sleep in a separate room. He argued that this was a reasonable compromise for the sake of our relationship. This led to a long, emotional discussion in which we both realized we had fundamentally different views on pet ownership and what we wanted our home life to look like. Listened patiently but admitted that he doesn't feel the same way about animals and doesn't think he ever will. He explained that in his ideal home, pets would have their place, but it would not be in the bedroom or on furniture. He wants a home environment that he can control and organize according to his preferences. We both realized that this wasn't just about where a cat sleeps, but about our different life perspectives and priorities. I want a home where It's painful, but I believe it's the best decision for both of us in the long run. The day after we made this decision, I found myself sitting on my couch, crying. I was simultaneously heartbroken about the end of my relationship with Sean and incredibly grateful for Milo's unwavering companionship. I'm sad about the breakup, but I also feel a sense of relief because I no longer have to feel guilty about Milo's behavior, values, and what I need in a partner. In the future, I'll be sure to be upfront about Milo's role in my life from the very beginning of any new relationship. I realize now that for me, accepting Milo isn't just a nice to have in a partner, it's a must-have. For now, I'm taking some time to heal and focus on myself, and Milo, of course. I've signed us up for a cat agility class at the local pet store, which should be a fun bonding experience. I'm also thinking about volunteering at the shelter where I adopted Milo, as a way to give back and maybe help other cats find their forever homes. I'm grateful for all the advice and support I received here. Your comments helped me see the situation more clearly and gave me the courage to stand up for what I believe is right for me and Milo. To anyone else facing a similar dilemma, my advice would be to really listen to your heart. Pets are a lifelong commitment, and anyone you bring into your life needs to understand and respect that. Milo and I are going to be just fine. In fact, as I write this, he's curled up next to me on the couch, purring away. Life goes on. And with Milo by my side, I know I can face whatever comes next.